Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Matty and Nemo. Today we're continuing our Valentine's Day. Oh, fuck. I just looked at you when I started laughing. Why? The moustache got me. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Matty and Nemo. You prick. It was the face you were pulling.
I'm trying not to make eye contact.
You're like this. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Matty and Nemo. Today we're continuing our Valentine's Day theme. Why can't I get this right? We're talking about Valentine's Day and we're talking about the top 3 chick flicks that we enjoyed. So here we go. Chick flicks that we like. We're not just saying whether they're the best chick flicks. I'm sure people out there would say The Notebook is the best chick flick, but that's only gack. So this is chick flicks that we enjoy.
When I was looking up other top 50 chick flick lists, I saw a lot of films that I wouldn't have expected to see on the list. I saw all the obvious ones: Steel Magnolias, Dirty Dancing, the ones you expect. But then I saw other ones that I was kind of surprised, and they would be really. I could actually take 3 names from that list, and it'd be really easy for me. Here's an example: Wedding Singer. Wedding Singer cropped up a lot, right? And I actually liked the Wedding Singer. I like the humour in it, and I like the 80s fucking nostalgia, obviously. But to call it a chick flick, I think a chick flick, it has to be. It can't really be a comedy. No. It has to be. There could be a bit of humour in it, already. 90% of it has to be about a relationship roller coaster, the ups and downs of love life in general. Or it doesn't have to be a man and a woman. It could be a woman and her mother. Yeah. Just stuff that chicks enjoy that guys generally don't. Bridesmaids is another one.
That's just when I was preparing my list. I put Bridesmaids down on the list. And I was saying that's a chick flick, but I was thinking no, it's not really.
Yeah.
It is a film about women and with women, and it is a hilarious movie.
Yes, it is, yeah.
But it's not really a chick flick in the strictest terms. We're talking about romantic movies about kids with cancer, stuff like that.
Yeah. It was kind of hard for me to get 3 films. My first 2 were fairly easy for me. The third one was a struggle. I really kind of had to crawl through a lot of lists to find the third one. And that's because I was being hard on myself. I was really trying to stick to that agenda of having a pure chick flick. Mm-hmm. It has to be a film aimed at girls. So the third one, it does fall into that category, but guys enjoy it as well. And that is Mickey Blue Eyes. Did you ever see that?
Never seen it.
Now, when I say guys can enjoy it, certain guys, if you don't like Hugh Grant, you're not going to like it, because it's a typical Hugh Grant film. But women enjoy it, and when they knock it on, I don't walk out of the room. It's got a few laughs in it, and the heartfelt, kind of sweet side of it isn't so sugary that it turns your stomach. It's something we can all relate to, And also there's gangsters in it, which makes it cool.
You can't bait gangsters, because they'll fucking bait you. Alright, I'm going to go with my number 3, if you don't mind. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Wow. Surprised at that.
I remember I watched it when I was when it first came out. I just thought it was great. Just thought it was a very, very funny movie. It would be a movie that if it came on TV or if I came across it somewhere, I'd just throw it on and sit there and enjoy it. Heath Ledger's in it, and he was always entertaining in roles. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, my man crush. I love that guy. So, Liam, you're number 2.
Hugh Grant again. Have a guess. Have a guess what film?
4 Weddings and a Funeral.
No. Notting Hill.
I like it.
Notting Hill. That gets me. That gets me right there. It's I like Hugh Grant. I don't love him. I don't think he's the fucking funniest man on the planet. And I think sometimes that kind of all that stuttering and all, sometimes it gets on my tits because he overplays it a little bit. But even though he annoys me, I still find him really likeable, despite myself. But yeah, apart from that, good film. Got a few funny moments in it. And again, like Mickey Blue, is this sweet, heartfelt stuff. Yeah. Not too sugary. It's just done just right, where it's relatable to everybody, even if you have a heart of stone.
My number 2 is a movie that I really love it. But for some reason, the title of the movie has gone out of my head. Pretty Woman.
Good choice.
It's just great. I don't know what it is about it. I just love it. It's not too sweet and it's so romantic, but
it's got enough dark moments in it.
Yeah,
it's kind of gritty.
She's a hooker. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's just a great movie.
As far as I know, it had a much darker ending as well. Did you ever hear that story? I think she dies of a drug overdose or something like that.
Jesus.
But yeah, good choice. It's up there with the rest of the typical ones, typical chick flicks. And because of that, I avoided it for years. I think I only seen it for the first time about 4 or 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, because I avoided it, because I was like, chick flick, fucking Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, fuck that. Then when I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's not bad. It's again, it's relatable. It's not too cheesy or sugary.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about it. We've all fallen in love with a hooker once in our lives.
Yeah, who hasn't?
So, Liam, let's do the big reveal. What is your number one?
My number one is About Time.
About Time?
Do you know that film?
Never heard of it.
I'm a sucker for chick flicks that have a sci-fi twist. And unfortunately, not a lot of them get made. In fact, off the top of my head, I can only think of about 3 or 4. Getting back to it, About Time. Do you know what it's about?
No, but it's a very recent movie, isn't it?
It's, yes, like a few months ago. The ginger kid, Brendan Gleeson's young guy. Can't think of his name. Is it Donald Gleeson?
Donald Gleeson, yeah.
Or is that the other one?
Rachel McAdams?
Rachel McAdams, yeah. Fond of her anyway.
Yeah, she could.
Although she could do it. Eating a few sandwiches now and again. I like her face. I'm a big face guy. Basically, the gist is Gleeson, everybody in his family can time travel within their own lifetime, just like quantum leap. So basically what happens is you go into a dark place like a wardrobe, you close your eyes and clench your fists, and then you can go back to any point in time that you're thinking about in your body. So his dad explains this to him, and his dad is, what's that guy's name? Bill Nye? Bill Nye? His dad explains it to him, all the men can do it. There's, not that there's rules, but there's certain things you need to take into consideration. Like if you get your wife pregnant, right, from that moment on, you can keep travelling back, right back to that moment of conception. Or if you go past conception, right, the conception will still take place, but it won't be the same sperm. It'll be one of the other million sperm. So let's say you have a 3-year-old kid. If you go back to before its conception, when you come back to the present day, it'll be a different kid, which is very sad. Now, it's a great chick flick because it's all about him and how he gets on with Rachel McAdams and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. So it's got me with the sci-fi. It's got me watching a chick flick because it's got sci-fi elements in it, right? But then about halfway through, it stops being about him and Rachel McAdams and it becomes about him and his dad. And that's when it goes up about 14 notches. It becomes a fucking class film from that point on. Because it's about, his dad is obviously, he's old and he hasn't got long left. And it comes to the point where he's gonna die, and you're kind of saying, well, I can keep going back to see him. So even his dad is aware. Like he'll come walking into the room, his dad will look at me. He can tell by the look on his face that he's come from a point in the future where his dad is dead, and he knows he's come back because he misses him.
Jeez, that's mad.
There's a lot of layers to it, and I won't say any more because it'll spoil it. It's fucking it's well worth a watch. It's beautiful. Just the father-son relationship is beautiful.
That's something I'm gonna try and sit down and watch.
Yeah,
that
check it out.
Sounds great.
It's really good. It elevates the film. Calling it a chick flick is an insult.
Yeah, it's not doing it justice.
No, even calling it a sci-fi is an insult.
That sounds very, very interesting. I think I'm definitely gonna sit down and try and listen to that.
But the first half, you'd swear you're just watching any other cheesy British-made chick flick. In fact, I think the Notting Hill guy is one of the main writers. Notting Hill and Four Weddings and Funeral and all that. The main guy, who's great. I can't think of his name. But he churns this kind of thing out, and he's good at it. He's good at what he does.
Okay, so my number one is something that I think I'm going to get a verbal smackdown over. I've mentioned it before in the past, but I'm going to mention it again because it's class. Titanic. I don't care what anyone says. It's an incredibly romantic film.
It is.
Right? Now, critics would say that it uses this horrible event to show a romantic story. But I think just having a movie about the Titanic crashing would have been too impersonal.
Yeah.
I think having this romantic story on the boat kind of shows the damage it did to people. That people died, people were separated by this horrible event.
Yeah.
It's just a very, very sad movie because seeing how much those two people love each other in the story and see what happens to them and all the shit that happens in the movie. It's really, really sad.
James Cameron, he does a really good job of that. He takes something that could have been. We had a lot of disaster films in the 70s, okay? Yeah. About buildings burning and boats overturned and all that kind of shit. And they're just disaster movies. It's about the people, but the disaster is the main focus. The film Titanic, the disaster is not the main focus.
Yeah, it's in the background.
Yeah. It's a love story. And I think, like what you say, if he had just made a film about the disaster, that would have been cheap.
Yeah.
That would have cheapened the memory of a disaster.
Mm.
But using it as a backdrop for a love story doesn't cheapen it at all.
It's just because I saw it when it first came out. I want to say '98. It could have been earlier.
That's about right. Yeah, 97, I think.
So I watched it when it first came out, and I don't think. And this is something that I was talking about to people every time I talk about the movie. I don't think I fully understood the concept of the fact that these people died. Because when you're 7 years old and you're watching a movie, it's just a movie to you. And alright, you say to yourself, oh well, yeah, this is a true story. This actually happened. But I don't think you fully understand the concept of death and how final it is when you're at that age. So when it came out on Blu-ray and I bought it on Blu-ray and I sat down and watched it, I think it was the first time I'd watched it since then. So I think it really sank in. Actually, these people actually died. You know what I mean? So it made me very, very sad watching it. I was actually very upset watching it. I wasn't bawling my eyes out or anything, but I was sitting there going, Jesus, these people actually died. So I think that the romantic story in the movie actually adds to that. So I think that is something that is great about the movie, and that's why it's my top chick flick. It's bearable to watch, even though it is 3 hours long. Yeah.
No, as much as I kind of pour scorn on you every time you mention it, it's a good film, and I would watch it if somebody put it on. Now I would watch it. There's enough in it to keep me interested.
Okay, thanks very much for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed the latest episode of MacLeod and Nemo. Our Valentine's Day theme continued with our top 3 chick flicks. If you haven't already, subscribe, comment, like, whatever, share on Facebook. And thanks for watching. See you later.
Anyway, the Reese, she was a Playboy bunny of April 1987. And I found this magazine in my house now, stashed in between a load of like books and stuff in a press. When I was a kid, I was mad into like rooting. People used to always give out to me for rooting, going through people's drawers and stuff. I don't know why, and I still do it to this day. Like if I'm left alone in the room, I go rooting behind presses and stuff. But anyway, it's probably because of this. Probably because it goes back to that in my childhood. I found a Playboy magazine, so like the rest of my life, I'm just constantly rooting for more Playboy. It's the only one I ever found, and I wore that thing out. It was literally like it was falling apart by the time it was finished. The staples were gone.
I can imagine.